Well, after what was mostly a really nice evening and night, I had an electrical storm roll over me at about 4:30, so that's okay. Sleep's for the weak, right?
Well, so far I'm 3 hard days in from Lava Mountain Lodge, and I'm pretty much on schedule here. I have about 95 more miles out of this 170-mile carry. Hoping to make it in 4 days and change. I'm counting on, 4 dinners plus change. But we'll see. I still have the Cirque of the Towers alt that's included in the 170 miles. Interestingly enough, if you're watching other videos and are like, oh, but people aren't doing a carry that long, the route out to Pinedale I'll pass today, one of them anyway. But that you have to go 13 miles off trail, hitch into town, hitch back, 13 miles back. And it's like trying to get out to Lone Pine or Bishop while going through the Sierra. Just didn't make sense when this is, some of the nicest part of the trail per a lot of people. I'm just waiting for a few more percentage points on my battery and then I'm going to get going. I am dragging a little bit, as always. It seems like it gets harder and harder to get up in the morning. 9 o'clock. I really got to stop letting these early morning rainstorms impact my schedule. Instead of starting to edit the video in the dark and do all that, I basically went back to sleep. And then when it cleared up, I was behind. I was talking to Zach Galifianakis the other day about kind of the difficulties of trying to maintain a steady state out here. We can both, being around the same age, stature, etc., we can both push hard, but we end up paying for it. That's why you don't see me doing any of those like 24-hour challenge sort of things. That's just an overuse injury with more steps, or else it's going to cost me more days off the trail than the mileage gained me. Man, that nice gentleman with an AT patch was just saying he was doing a section and offering me food if I needed it. And I was explaining to him that, there have been times in the past, like on the Theodore Solomon, where I would have been so grateful for that, but I am carefully balancing my food on this one. So on past trips, when I looked at my stats, I noticed I was very cyclical. I would go hard for a couple of days and then I would wimp out and have a much shorter day. And the reason is, if I just push, I'm exhausted. It's harder to get going in the morning. I'm going slower during the day. So I'm always trying to find that kind of sweet spot. How much time do I need in camp to recover? And when do I need the time? Because at least for me, time in the evening is great and all, but I'm not very productive. I'll watch a TV show, eat dinner, pass out. So at best, it gets me maybe a little extra sleep. It's really time in the morning that helps me. Part of it is just enjoying my coffee. Also, I find it kind of therapeutic to go through the video clips from the day before, edit them all together. If I try and do that at night, I've just had it with the day. Last thing I want to do is be reminded of such a long day. So mornings seem to be my thing. And what I've been trying to do is just set an alarm, wake up early enough where I can get everything done, have my time, and still get out earlier than I have been. The days have been getting noticeably shorter, which is why my adjustments are off right now. Taters and I, for the first couple of weeks, never even touched a headlamp. We would wake up at 5 and it'd be light. We'd go to bed at 9 or 10 and it'd be light. Now, of course, it's sun's coming up noticeably later every day. When I used to do shorter hikes like the John Muir Trail, I could just grind myself into the dirt because I had a finish looming up ahead on me. You don't really have that when you're doing a long trail like this. At least I don't. It's even getting to the next town, I put out of my mind most days, because if I try and concentrate on that, the days just feel super long. I am, when you hear about people talking about being present, that is basically me on the trail. I am living in the moment, just trying to get through the day. And I do get noticeably more tired as I go through the through hike. It's never a case where I don't want to be here. I've never seriously considered quitting short of some injury scares I've had. But I'm just beating myself up every day. And I'm never getting enough time off trail to really recover. You know, at best, I get something like that 1-0. I got a few precious double zeros on the previous trail. Interestingly enough, while obviously trying to recover a bit more might be nice, I start to go crazy if I sit still for longer than about a day. There's this sense of progress and tempo I get once I've been out here a week or two. And even at Lava Mountain Lodge, you know, I had an evening and then one full day. And by the end of that one full day, I was already feeling antsy, like I needed to get moving again. The reason I end up talking about my mindset out here so much is it's one of those things I find interesting due to the fact that I didn't know it going in. When I started the PCT, I'd never done something long enough to have a 0 day. Even when I did something like the JMT, I was so limited on vacation time. I went every day as hard as I could because I was trying to accomplish as much as I could in my very limited vacation time. If you look back to my early Key West to Canada hiking through the Keys videos where I started to get people finding my videos, whenever I would talk about struggles, and there were a lot of struggles in the Keys in South Florida, I'd get people attacking me, saying, how dare I have such a bad attitude? This is a dream that I'm getting to do. I should be, you know, bouncing around saying every day is the best day. That sort of thing. Now, don't get me wrong. It is absolutely a privilege to be out here and be doing this. All of us who come out and do these things generally have had to make big sacrifices. I gave up a pretty comfortable life and a pretty comfortable IT job to do something that's much riskier. However, just because it's a dream, just because I've sacrificed it, doesn't mean this is the equivalent of sitting on a beach somewhere drinking Mai Tais. The amount of effort day after day after day to complete a thru hike, at least for my okayish thru hiker self, is a lot. I have seen people posting online giving advice to people who want a thru hike saying, oh, they just do it until they're not having fun and then they go home. My problem with that is having hunkered down and fought through and done the PCT as my first thru hike. That was an amazing accomplishment that made me feel amazing. If I had just given up when things got difficult, when I didn't want to be out there, when I was hurting, I wouldn't have that accomplishment. And for me, that would be a real shame, because that was a life-altering thing. I guess I tend to subscribe to the anything worth doing is worth struggling at school of thought. So far, this has been the most exhausting of the 3 big hikes by far, and I ain't anywhere near done. I've got a lot of rough terrain ahead of me. But assuming I hit that monument, the sense of accomplishment will be all the bigger. And if I don't make the monument, if I pushed one too many red lines when I should have taken a shortcut, at least I'll know I pushed myself as hard as I could. As far as the trail through this section, yesterday was that big sustained climb. I'm now up above 10,000 feet, and I will be for the next couple of days. No big long sustained climbs, but there are some shorter, steeper ones that are gonna have me huffy and puffing like this. Unfortunately, it's looking like the rain might not be done for the day. And considering I have an exposed pass or two I need to get over today, that could be unpleasant. Looks like a big time backcountry crew. The altitude and the steep ups and downs here and there, you know, like rock steps and whatnot, have been slowing me down a little bit. And this is where the knapsack call alt returns from. I just ran into 10 people since that junction. Guess I'm in the more popular area now. So it looks like that junction back there that had all the weekenders, that's the access point for Pinedale. At least one of the more popular ones. And this is Lester Pass. Well, that hasn't happened in a while. That was actually up to mid-thigh to get across. So that peak in the background is the state high point. Got to come back for it at some point. Hey, little guy. I am really struggling with these ups and downs today. And 3. Okay, I was able to fill up water. So now I'm just looking for a campsite. Really rough day, but I managed to make 20 miles. So, home sweet home for the night.